Welcome. Now, let's take another look at Pakistan's information security posture and challenges. And we'll try to link that with the security governance discussion that we're currently doing. Let's have a look at the typical IT and information security challenges first. Now, what we see in this diagram is information technology surrounded by four different functions which operate in an organization which are dependent on IT. One is information security, and information security is dependent on IT because they need controls implemented in IT on the IT infrastructure. There's compliance. Compliance is the front end of IT, and it lies between IT and the regulator on the other end. So it represents, or communicates the regulator requirements to IT and forms the gateway or the intermediary between IT and the regulator. And then there's risk. So there's usually a risk department in the organization, a part of the risk management framework of the organization, and they would be interested in ensuring that risk within IT department is being addressed. And then there's audit, which is a separate department, and it consists of internal audit, external audit, and maybe a third-party audit. So unfortunately, what we see is that there is contention in the industry. So these five entities shown on the diagram, information security, audit, compliance, risk, and IT, are not cooperating and working with each other. They're working against each other. And the reason for that is that IT is challenged. It doesn't have time and resources. It has a very tough job to do. And all these four departments shown with arrows are dependent on IT and are running after IT because they can't get their job done till IT helps them and works with them. And IT just doesn't have the willingness or the time or the energy or the resources to do that. So the IT challenges summary is that IT is complex and difficult to manage. IT is under pressure from business groups. There is lack of sufficient trained resources, and there's lack of process culture overall in the Pakistan industry and in an immature market. And IT is clearly not aligned to perform the diligent, hard security work that is required in security to make a difference. Now, let's take a look at information security challenges. There are silos and lack of security ownership because there's no clear responsibility who is going to implement security. And that's because the management or the executive leadership has not done its job properly. Time and energy is wasted in traversing or crossing different departmental boundaries because of organizational politics or because departments push back and they don't take ownership. Information security is very, very tough work, and the enabling environment is totally missing so that IT and other departments can perform information security work. So fundamental security hardening of IT assets in the trenches, in the foundations, is glaringly absent, completely absent. And then Pakistan industry characteristics. You have a wavering management commitment, lack of management commitment, superficial dressing security, not really deep-rooted at a very superficial level, reactive to regulator, audit, and compliance, and security hardening is largely untouched, was never considered seriously, and the industry has been in denial about security for a long, long time. So question here for all the IT personnel in Pakistan, are you going to do security hardening first, or are you going to manage security first? And we've already answered this question before. You build the building first, and then you manage the building. So Pakistan, unfortunately, is now almost one entire technology generation behind in information security implementation. And that's the obvious result of that is, or the obvious consequence of not implementing security for one entire generation is that the security posture is very weak, almost across all types of organizations across Pakistan. However, there are certain islands of excellence where very few, maybe a few percent, less than 5% of organizations take their security seriously. Most of them are ones which have been already hit by an incident, and then suddenly their board and their executive leadership wakes up and they realize the importance. So IT has progressed during the last 10 to 12 years, but especially in our country, but information security was ignored, and information security transformation model is now the obvious answer in order to catch up and make up for the lost time. That's all that we have for this module. Thank you.